Hello everyone, we've got a 1v1 matchup for you here. It's going to be AlesDvran taking on Ebony Scarface. Still not 100% sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. What's your take on it, Co-Caster Choices? How do you pronounce that name?
I was just going to call him Alice, or AlesDvran. I have no idea. And now I feel bad for having attempted it. So, we got D-Money versus Ebony. I think you're reading into that. Let's not go projecting. We got a good start out of both of them. 5 aura, 2 attacks on deck. Ebony's got that shield purple, maybe a little less aura.
I have a feeling, so I'm just going to put this out there. I have a feeling this is going to be a slow one. Both these players tend to play pretty slow. And so I'm going to put in a little meta talk while we watch them run around in circles and posture.
Healing and Doppelganger on deck, at least it's going to be something unusual.
So a little bit of meta talk. Let's talk about Ebony for a second here. This is his first match in the tournament. I'm excited, kind of. I'm going to elaborate on that. Excited to see him back. I'm excited to see him as a player because he is very skilled. And in the last tournament, he really set the meta. You know, I mean, he kind of broke the mode almost, at the very least from a viewer perspective. And so this tournament's actually featuring some rules. If you're not familiar with it,
poor man. We're calling them the Ebony rules.
Yeah, basically, he's about the only player we're really worried about it. There's been some copycats, but nobody pulls it off as well as he does. Where we're specifically disallowing that combo. We originally were going to just disallow recall, but he bases a lot of his other arsenals off of recall as well, and it felt a little too targeted. And so after a discussion with Ebony, we set the rules to be disallowing that specific combo, the Violent Change, Quantum Decay, Recall. So we're gonna see out of Ebony. I mean, in the finals, like I want to come to this guy's defense in this too, because in the finals of that tournament that he won, the last 1v1 tournament, he didn't run it, and he still put the whoop on Esper. Like it was dirty.
Right.
It was nasty. It wasn't even
think he needs to run it.
Exactly.
He's one of the top mechanical players in the game. He doesn't need to run it.
He doesn't have to run the combo,
and
and he's still a fantastic player. He dominated the finals without it, and he'll still be able to run his regular recall.
I feel on the 1v1 though, somebody actually was able to beat him. Took a whole series from him. That player, oh my god.
Yeah,
be able
but that
to beat
player is a
that you're raving
giant
about.
crybaby and didn't enter this tournament, so he doesn't get to mention.
That player must be one of the most underrated, awesome players in Vanadust who doesn't play anymore.
He's basically human filth. He didn't enter the tournament. We don't talk about him.
All right, fine. We don't have to talk about him.
I'm sorry, Choices. You're not.
Those who know of his legend will let his legend live on. While we've been talking this whole time, we've missed only one real exchange, which is the loss of the which is the loss of the reincarnation and then the Dragon Slayer. Not else a lot has other happened.
I feel like for these two players, I need to prepare discussion topics beforehand.
I mean, and I don't want to criticize because obviously slow playing it's legitimate and it's something that can be done.
It's not even the same
as camping. It's not even the same as camping in Battlefield because we are seeing real interactions here. But it's just not the.
Well, we can talk a little bit about what we've seen. The Gust is good here because now he can't lose his shield. Ebony is clearly running a melee focus build though, so the Gust isn't going to help him there.
I also love Venom against a cartwheeler.
We also noticed as Ebony went around,
a bunch of flash holes.
He made sure to make himself place his cartwheel off of the edge so he can keep up with this guy all the way around. He did it about 4 different times. Maybe even 5, 6.
Great thing to do.
2,
and there's
3.
the flash hole we knew was coming.
I'm counting it in at least 3 places just on this side.
And that's great forethought by a cartwheeler to make those little cheat exits. Definitely makes the map a lot more traversable. And if you don't know where the fight's going to be, it's super convenient to have them everywhere. Haven't seen any really big mistakes out of players either. A lot of patience. Ebony's there with his hyper kick. That's going to be great against the Gust.
It took 5
he's seen the
to
defense. I don't know why he's not rushing him, knowing that there's nothing that can be done. Now he gets off a big hit, though.
Well, I mean, AlesDvran still has the Flame Sword. He can counter. Ebony only has 5 aura.
That twister would have been. I would have turned around and tried to set up a place to hit that. That is a jumpable thing that he's trying to jump. It also is cartwheelable as well, that gap. Now you're going to build twist just a bit too early.
Control here. There's not much Ebony can do to him while he has that, because he doesn't have a shelter defense.
Right.
Oh, he wasn't paying attention to where Ebony was, and he let him get up here. You can block those stairs.
Maybe he wanted him up here.
But look, there's Ebony. The preparation paid
Twister
off.
gets stuck.
He was worried about being stuck there, and he had his escape route.
I'm seeing the lag spike just a little bit.
I
or
think
maybe
that these OneDrive videos that he sends us just don't have the best recording quality, so it's hard for me to say that there might be actual lag in game.
That's true.
Like they just
But
don't
Ebony,
play as
either
smooth as
way,
some others do.
whether it's a video or not, Ebony takes time to leave. DvRan showing great patience, runs completely away to use that alien water. I think that was the right call. That way you know you can get it off safely. I would like if both players maybe dug a little bit more. There we go, we at least get a full hand.
I know Ebony's got the chops. I want to see him get in here and get in the mix. He's running something very different than what we normally see. Usually it's all shelters and flash holes out of him. But he was running, it was guard and flash hole, so key faith, which is not a normal combination for Ebony.
Bunch of ice lances, now we know we've seen the defense. I don't know if ice lance is going to get it done. But, you know, you're not rushing into death. It's, got plenty of life to do some trades. Try to get Twister off here.
That Twister.
Yep. Half a second, a little bit too close.
There we go, keeping the pressure on. That was about a frame off from the Twister putting him up in the air.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when you're trying to close range that Twister, though, it can actually get walked as well. That's why Whirlwind is kind of interesting to throw out every now and again, because it's not really walkable if you get off that close range cast, but it just costs too much.
You won't give up on that skill, will you?
No, they should reap the Whirlwind. DvRan does make that jump, which gives him all the space he could possibly need from Ebony. But I was going to say, I don't know if DvRan shouldn't be using this time to dig, because the Iceland Twister Flamesword is not going to do it. Ebony does go back to see if he's got anything else to
I would like to see him get a shield that
up.
he can trade in the melee and go Hyper Kick versus Flamesword, because in theory, I think Flamesword wins those trades, especially if Ebony can't erase it right now.
Double Twister.
Now that I find strange. I think Twister is a pretty decent one-off skill in an arsenal because it's so hard to erase. But I don't know.
I think it's
what
even
Hysteria
better in Palace,
would have
where you
to
can
possess
have
me to put 2 in an arsenal.
where you can have stair control, but at the same time, it's not a great 1v1 skill. It's just too slow. Too much cast time.
There's no way I'd ever put 2 in an arsenal.
With a twist. Ebony, though, he's got a couple ways. I mean, he can try to get up there. He can force a mistake, but he's content to just sit back as well. Which is a patience that I'm both envious of and infuriates me. Because this is going to be a draw when, you know,
it didn't need to
could have gone for a win. Yeah.
We've seen this in some of these matches, though. It's reminiscent of Xanxus last night versus Tomato as well. Players are taking this seriously, and especially on the first map, a lot of them are playing really slow and feeling each other out. Nobody wants to make the mistake and get behind early, and they want to get a feel for their opponent.
And then you see again just how slow that Twister is.
Well, he might
Big
just
hit.
pull it out here in the last friggin' minute.
Yeah. Maybe we spoke too soon. This is the sort of aggression we could have seen 5 minutes ago.
There it
We had
is.
26 seconds to pull it off. He's
Game
got
1
it,
goes to Ebony. I think he just wanted to make it
What's the next round?
the late entrance, you know? Arrive late to the party.
I mean, I wouldn't put it off on Ebony doing it specifically out for style points.
I want to put it out on Ebony doing it just to make me have to cast his matches longer, because half of the reason we put those rulings is so that we wouldn't have long, grueling matches of just watching him bleed people dry.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
And
put it past him to have done it just
Trevon,
for my own suffering.
I don't think Trevon played bad there, but I think as soon as you saw the hyper kick, especially if you're doing what you were doing with the twisters, you needed to try to find an answer for him. Clearly had enough of your arsenal left. I don't know if you don't have an answer for low cost melee, then it's a deck building problem. If not, I think it was just a pacing and picking stuff up
He's
problem.
actually getting those down on Ebony.
Yeah, this is. I do like to see stuff that's way outside the meta. So this is all 0 cost. You know there's going to be some rebirths in there. That trance is making these powerful. You
This
get
is
some early
probably
damage
the
while
best
Ebony.
start he's had with that, actually.
Oh, I would just go in that trance, scream of evil till you get that agonies off. There you go.
Oh my
that's gonna hit.
goodness!
Game. Oh my gosh, that was brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant.
Hallway.
Thank you.
Just as we were saying, we don't understand the slow playing and
Thank you,
everything else.
sir.
We see a very high risk, high reward strategy against a player
Where's
that
the
everybody knows
GoFundMe
likes
for
to get set up.
AlesDvran? I want to donate to this guy.
Yeah, that was great.
I will throw all
like
the
he-
stacks of money to see you do that to Ebony every day.
He had some ale, he caused some DV, and then he ran.
That was bad even for you.
No. I thought it was clever, at least. It doesn't have to be good to be clever.
It wasn't even
Creative. Can we say it was creative?
It wasn't creative. You just used different pieces of his name inappropriately.
That's the creative part.
It wasn't creative.
I guarantee you, no one else has ever thought or said that sentence. Boom. Anyway, we got a highway match.
Make it stop.
Ebony picking highway, which is again, Ebony likes this map, but otherwise this is a horrible cartwheeler map.
I gotta
Just for
say,
the way you have to traverse it.
Ebony's problem, man.
And this is why. This is why right here. These little shortcuts that AlesDvran can take and easily get all the space he needs. Yeah. Ebony definitely, though, pulling out the aggression.
I would have
wants
dropped
to get some
down a
quick
level
hits
because the rapid
after that
cannon had
last
a
one.
longer staircase to fire on as he was coming up there. Because this one, he can freeze him really easy and take like 1 damage. That longer staircase,
He was able to defend it, though. Don't know why he's holding out of the grab.
I think he really just surprised him. Yeah, see there now, he's already erased it.
Yeah.
Optimization's gonna make that lightning sword scarier.
Yep. You
He was
do.
about
Which
out of
one?
uses, and now he's got several.
Yeah, he's in no hurry to pick that up. I get the jumping off to get some, but you don't have. You're not building that much space, and I think you're gonna wish you had that life back. I don't really agree with that play.
Burns the flash hole for the Giga Ruin.
I think that's a good trade. As I say, Ebony, at that time you knew once he picked up that Opti that all he had was that lightning sword, but you didn't take the time to go stock your hand again. I don't know what the point of this gravity mine is either.
Not with all the other stuff in here. I mean, maybe if there was a Psycho Burst payoff, but... He's had Psycho in there, right? Gravity Mine, that is Psycho.
Yeah,
I
this
believe.
is a three school deck.
Particle Mortar's so bad, Ebony can't even catch it standing still to try and freeze it. I'm sorry, that skill was just bad. It's hilarious with acquisitions, but by itself, Particle Mortar is absolute trash tier.
Yeah, it's not my favorite.
I don't mean this to be a commentary on DeVron, because I think he's putting up a fairly good series. Particle Mortar's just bad.
That ice sword is doing some work right now, though. And again, you leave in your base, and Are you content with these skills? Great use of Rian
I
right
think he
there.
needs to overwrite the mine and the
Reflect mirror.
mortar. Get some actual attacks. If he could actually trade with Ebony here, he's not in a bad spot. The reflect mirror blunts a
We
lot
just see
of
the
what he
gravity
wants to do.
gravity go down. Do you think he's gonna manual aim? Nope, he just gets frozen.
You can't
As
even
gravity mine
manual
is
aim.
just a liability.
You can't even manually aim freaking particle mortar. You're gonna go for optimization.
That being said, he keeps it. He
Why
keeps
is
it.
double slide laser unbuffed with? My brain hurts.
Good photon barrier at the last second. He's doing well to hold on here, but yeah, there's just not enough on
I've
the
got so
offense
many
side
questions
coming out.
about this build.
It's really weird to see Ebony be the aggressor though. This is something that very rarely happens. Normally he waits for you to attack him so he can try to turn it around. Oh,
2-1 lead.
I heard the skill activation, but without being targeted on, it was going to come out the wrong side anyway.
Yeah, I mean there was a chance that went right over the barrier too.
Yeah, that angle was just a good angle. But yeah, I mean, don't know quite the point of that arsenal build, but it is easy for us to second guess from our ivory tower.
Well, it was definitely funny seeing Ebony get cheesed on lane, but he's looking
That was great.
just about as good as he ever has. He's a solid player.
DvRan though is playing some stuff we don't normally see, which is great. Because I think the meta gets really entrenched at times and needs to be flipped around. We get the dash, it's good for defense, digestion. Not usually a big go-to skill because of how easy it is to break, but if used appropriately, it can be a good defense. Learning. Just another one I haven't seen in a long time.
I've seen
Ebony,
it run
though,
this deck
already
a few
up to 8.
times, and my quibble with it is that, you know, especially with digestion and then the other shields he has in here, like, digestion's an okay defense. I'd put it, you know, like C tier, because it breaks so easily, and like your best use out of it is to block like a really big attack, like, say a railgun, and you get the 6 health or a fire Gehenna, because you do get a nice big trade off of it and a big heal off of it. Like, that's the only reason you should be running it, is if you think your opponent's going to be running a big hit, in my opinion, because you can get a really nasty health trade.
No, I think it was designed specifically for memory battle crystallization. I think that was the entire point of it.
Yeah. Part of the problem, though, is that I see it so often paired with other weak defenses or one-time defenses, like his Mind's Eye, his Learning, all this other crap. You don't have a consistent way of defending yourself. You need that Fortress. You need that, you know, Psychic Wall, Psycho Shell, stuff like that to go with.
Well, I think the dash is meant to be the real defense here. I mean, there's no attacks.
Not that I'm innocent of it, but I don't like dash on Refinery.
We're in the troll loop right now.
Dash
I would
is not
agree
what
with
you
you.
should
If you're
be
going to
relying
do
on Refinery.
one defense or one crazy thing, I think that makes sense. If you want digestion and learning and a mind's eye, I think you've gone too far.
Well, when so much of the meta
There's
tends to
clearly
be
others
like
to use.
Flame Sword, Rian, and maybe a Heat, right? You know, I think that
Right.
boils down 90% of the meta. Like, digestion doesn't really pay its dividends.
No.
It also doesn't block melee. That also bugs me. It makes you want to run Rafflesia Fang, but that's only a
But
one-time
we haven't
use.
really seen any attacks. I don't know if this deck just came out backwards or what the point of this deck was supposed to be.
I've seen it run a couple times. He has a couple of attacks.
Are you still there? I feel like my audio cut
Oh, I accidentally leaned on my mute button. I was saying I don't remember exactly what attacks he has in there. He has a few, but he does rely fairly heavily on the learning to get him attacks. And we do see Ebony using some recalls here, so classic Ebony. He's very
I mean, if you're waiting on to counter Ebony with what, your Dazzle? I don't know. I just don't like this build of this arsenal. One, this is not the player that you set up to just counter.
I mean, to be fair, DvRan's a newcomer to the tournament.
Greatest skill.
So it's a bit of a skill mismatch for both of them because neither one is an aggressive player.
Right.
Oh boy.
But there's enough video.
I gotta say, this is doing it. This is
a cursory watch of some of these vids,
he's
and
just dashing around the map. Come on,
right.
man.
I don't know why you're
go get something.
Why you're content. You can't really do anything. It's not like your skills look intimidating. Ebony knows you can't do anything.
I think Ebony's got a Psycho Burst, and he's eventually going to catch him and smack him with it.
Yeah, that's what the Quantum move's for.
Well,
Ebony
he's been liking
Dazzle,
Psycho Burst lately,
around.
and usually when he's running a speed up, it means he's got a Psycho Burst as well.
Yeah.
So I'm fairly certain that's what's coming here. And with the +2 speed, even versus the dash, he's eventually going to catch him, especially if he overwrites it.
What? Of all the things to get rid of? That was the thing keeping you alive.
Oh, he's got himself a Shatter as well.
I think
that's at least going to force the interaction.
You had your Iron Skin, you could... No. He's trying to use the learning on it. I don't know what that was about. Ebony's just trying to end this now.
Psycho Burst does hit
I'd rather
for
run than get hit by a Dazzle. Yeah. But yeah, just build wise, I don't think this arsenal.
Yeah, learning and digestion don't work against that.
I can't think of the arsenals that this arsenal would win against. I mean, almost at all. I think he just tried to digest that as well.
Yeah, good matches, man. Yeah, that's 3.
Well, that is the 3-1 for Ebony.
Good matches, man.
Some good games. Loved lane out of DvRan, but at the end of the day, yeah, it's fun to throw some other things into the meta, but you got to make sure you have some win conditions in a deck.
Well, there are 2 attacks in there. I guess he just never got around to finding them. It's unfortunate that he didn't get a chance to show more, but I was impressed. Anybody who can take a match off of Ebony is, fairly impressive. So large props go out to that. Ebony's a former tournament winner, and he did not drop very many games in that last tournament. So big props to DvRan.
That was my favorite. Favorite probably of the entire tournament so far.
That one round. You can ignore the rest. All the other pain that we endured.
Yes.
For that one moment. That one sweet, sweet moment of victory. Well, congratulations to Ebony. He's 1-0 in the group, and he's got some more tough opponents lined up. Tune in next time.